Hi, beautiful friends. Welcome to this transmission. I'm back after another couple of weeks, and today I'm really excited to be sharing with you what I hope is going to be just some tools and some insights to help navigate challenge and change. And the specific topic is that of initiation. Now, the term initiation, we might typically associate it with, ritual, ceremony, or structured and specific steps of progression or evolution. We have things like the bar mitzvah, which in Jewish tradition would be an initiation into adulthood for men. We have tribal, so many different tribes which will have a different initiation process to move a child from being a child into that stage of adulthood. And these are really specific ritualistic or ceremonial processes. And so that's one form of initiation. But what I want to share with you today is what we often, I think, overlook. And it's maybe a shift in perspective to help you to better navigate change and challenge in life as it occurs. So I've talked in other videos about fear portals. Fear portals are one opportunity for initiation. And if we just backtrack a little bit and go to the actual meaning of the word initiation, it's actually beginning, to initiate something. It's to step into a new beginning or to commence something. And, this is, I suppose, a stage of transition, transformation, that the process of a caterpillar becoming a butterfly is kind of a process of initiation. The caterpillar goes into the cocoon and emerges as a whole new creature. So often we will find ourselves thrown into challenge, difficulty, struggle. And when we're in it, when we're in the suffering of something, or we're in the hope, what can be hopelessness or the fear of a confronting situation, it's easy for us to get lost in that. And what I'm inviting you to do is instead step into the new perspective that, in fact, every challenge that you experience is a deeper process of initiation. So I mentioned those, the typical tribal initiations, these structured and very specific initiatory rituals. But what we don't realize is that we are constantly moving through initiations in our own soul's journey. And because our soul is unique and our journey is unique, we often don't acknowledge these challenges for what they are. And when you consider that every challenge that we go through stretches us into a new iteration of ourself, it stretches us into something that is greater than we were before. And of course, when we're faced with initiation, we don't always step through that portal into the new. But I feel like if you're watching this, you're somebody who has this courage and a desire to move through life in that way. So instead of experiencing, adversity as being, through the lens of why is this happening to me, we switch that to go, why is this happening for me? And, so basically all of life's changes are initiations. They're inviting us to deepen into ourselves, to deepen our knowing, to deepen our level of awareness, skill, consciousness, whatever it may be. Sometimes we're challenged because we need to let go of a situation. Sometimes we're challenged because we need to stretch our perception or change our judgments of things. And sometimes they're physical. It's physical, Just think how amazing you feel when you achieve some new physical accomplishment. Doesn't it feel amazing? The body feels vital. It feels so alive. And the same goes for the soul. When we move through these challenges or emotional initiations, when we're called more deeply into our strength and our resilience, we come out of it the other side transformed. So so we are not the same after. We look different. Our life looks different, but our perspective of life is different. And I know the hardest of experiences yield the greatest of transformation. And it doesn't mean that we overlook the pain or the struggle of a situation. It's just that we have the capacity to expand our perspective, to acknowledge that, yes, this is painful right now, but this is transient. And that like the pressure that creates diamonds, any pressure will pass. It's not so much how can I get out of this or how can I make it stop, but rather how can I navigate this for my highest good and for the good of those around me or those who else may be involved. And so initiation to me is just stretching us to a new dimension of self. And yes, it may occur through structured processes of learning and accomplishment, but it's also just our own internal pathway. So the steps that I'm going to invite you to take on to make navigating these changes and challenges more graceful and more easeful is, first to acknowledge the situation, to acknowledge that it is what it is. Resistance is not going to change it. Avoidance will not lead to growth. Avoidance will lead to a regression. So allow yourself to be in that pain and discomfort. It's about acknowledging that pain is a thing, and I use pain as a general. I'm not talking about physical pain. I'm talking more about the mental, emotional, physical discomfort that we might experience when we're challenged by something. But yeah, so to be in it, and it's not until we can acknowledge that it is what it is that we can start to look beyond it as well. So if you continually turn away from the horizon, you'll never be able to walk toward it. So first step is acknowledgement. The second step is the exploration of this. And there are a few questions that I invite you to ask here. So in exploration, we ask, what new layer of me am I being invited to activate? And so it's not just about knowledge, it's about activation. So initiation occurs as an activating force or power or activity. We can then integrate that initiation in our lived experience day to day by carrying that new quality or that expanded awareness into our day-to-day dealings. But so what new layer of me am I being invited to activate? And along with that, we can ask, what's the meaning that I'm attaching to the situation, the present situation or the situation that's triggering this? So what am I making it mean? Because we are the masters of that. We are meaning-making machines, and we are, responsible for the mental story that we attach to any situation. And is that meaning that I'm giving it, is that, life-affirming for me, or is it keeping me small? And is it keeping me in separation? So separation is a really key concept I love exploring, because our bliss comes when we move more towards integration and we move out of separation, whether it be separation from self, separation from universe, God, each other. I digress. So what's the meaning I'm attaching? What am I being called to let go? Because more often than not, when we're called through initiatory processes, there is some part of our old self that we're being called to let go. It may be a belief, it may be a judgment, it may be energetic, it may be a habit, or it may be relationships. Every situation is going to be unique. So what does that mean for you? And how can I have compassion? How can I have compassion for myself? How can I have compassion for the situation? compassion for the challenge or the person who's challenging me. Because when we're challenged, if the initiation or the act of initiation that's being awakened within you, if that's the result of somebody mistreating you, how can you have compassion for this person or the other in the situation, whatever is deemed as the other, that reflection? And then how can that be that reflection of compassion be brought home to you? And, compassion is a really powerful concept because there's so much strength in compassion. Compassion is not a weak approach to anything. It's acknowledging, the difficulty of something, but choosing to be, strong and loving and nurturing in the face of it, whatever that unique situation may be. So just to recap, so you've got the meaning, you've got letting go, and then you've got where does the compassion come in? And non-judgment is another thing. Now, the third main point is, now that we're ready, now that we've reflected, we've accepted, we've reflected and explored it, what are we moving into? And so the question is, what is this process guiding me through, or what am I stepping into that is bigger, greater, better than where I was? How is this causing me to shift or evolve? How is it causing my life to shift or evolve? What will be the different outcome? What will be bigger, better, brighter, more loving, more easeful, more connected? What will it be that it was not before? So what is the outcome, what is the beautiful gift of this challenge that I'm walking through, or this initiation? And I really noticed this because I had, I mentioned in my last video, I was sick, and I had quite an interesting month, actually, sort of during April. And, there were times when it was physical, there were times it was mental, and it was emotional. And it was a deep process of exactly what I've just shared with you, to accept, to reflect, to be with it, to not deny any of the difficult stuff that came up through that, but then to also go, okay, well, where is this leading me? Who am I now? And trust me, there's light on the other side. There's always light, and there's always expansion on the other side of challenge, when we choose to ground ourselves in the strength and the journey of the soul. So just in practice, meditate, connect with yourself, be in that space. And that's where we cultivate the capacity to move with grace through these processes. And, we are constantly going through these. That other video, the video I've done a while ago about choice portals, or choices of portals to new realities, that it's very closely aligned with this, because how you choose to navigate your initiation is going to determine which portal you walk through and which reality you create from that. So it's really potent. And what I hope that you take from this is that just an ease and an acceptance that life happens. We're here to play. We're here to live life. We're not here to cruise on in the comfort zone, which our human aspect, and trust me, I speak firsthand from this, our human aspect just wants it to be easy, fluffy, nice, comfortable. And our soul is here to learn and to grow and expand. And so we need to reconcile these aspects. And when the human begins to surrender more to the wisdom and the light of the soul, it becomes more easy to move through these experiences. And it's, even when you're in the darker moments of it, that it's going to pass. That if you trust and surrender to your soul and do the things, that's part of it. What am I attaching to? What steps do I need to take in this? And I don't know if I included that, but that's definitely part of it, is what steps do I need to take the navigation. I did mention navigation. How do I need to navigate this for my highest good and for the good of all? And often that will come, the clarity will come through meditation. So, yeah, we're constantly going through these portals of initiation. And yeah, it's just allowing it to be what it is instead of fixating on how hard it might be or trying to rationalize, explain, avoid, minimize the discomfort of what you're experiencing. Allow yourself to be in it without, exacerbating it, and see the light at the end of the tunnel, or see the light on the other side. And even tuning into that future version of you that you are becoming, tuning into yourself as the butterfly on the other side of this initiation. And know that these can be hugely life disrupting processes, or it can just be a little choice to navigate your anxiety in a different way, and it's that act of strength and courage and moving through that will profoundly affect even on the small scale stuff. So my beautiful souls, I am so grateful for you being here. If you do want to get in touch, book a free call. The details are in the description box below. And I would love to support you in navigating, just all the things, navigating you becoming more of you. So have a beautiful day.